So far we've been looking at the positive side of AI, all those ways in which it can benefit both teachers and learners. But there is a less positive side to the technology too, and it's important to be aware of it and to make your learners aware of it too. Perhaps the biggest concern in education is the fear that AI will replace learning altogether. Why should learners bother to learn things for themselves when AI can do all the assignments in a fraction of the time? Language learning involves an awful lot of tedious memorization and the need for regular practice, and it's certainly tempting to let technology deal with all that. But the whole point of learning a language is to be able to communicate with other people. And handing this process over to AI reduces the whole human-to-human element. Besides, AI often struggles with real-world communication. Throw in a few bits of slang or nuances, some jokes, and AI can sometimes struggle. One other big issue, which is a concern when using AI, is copyright. Artists, writers are deeply unhappy about the way in which AI uses all of their hard work and creativity just to recreate very similar works. The recent Ghibli trend, when hordes of people uploaded their own photos to ChatGPT so it could convert them to images in the style of the film studio, is a good example of some of these issues. Not only did ChatGPT make use of the visual style developed by the Ghibli studio without permission, it also collected a whole range of personal images, and it will also convert these back to the original if anyone asks them to. It's a clear loss of control of personal data for anybody who uploaded material. Another problem with AI is the fact that its training data is mostly drawn from Western and especially US sources. This means that there can be a lot of stereotypes, especially when creating material about non-white, non-Western people. These are some of the results I got when I asked AI to create some pictures of different nationalities. Americans, Brits probably okay, Italians starting to hit for stereotypes, Mexicans, Egyptians, Vietnamese definitely not so great, and a nice lot of stereotypes for Nigerians as well. And nationalities are not the only things where stereotypes appear. Ask AI to generate pictures of doctors, for example, and we have men. Nurses, of course, I'm sure you'll guess, mostly females. And again, teachers, a lot of women involved, but politicians, and we have a nice crop of men. And stereotypes in the pictures of places that I asked AI to generate. Paris, probably not too bad. London has some strange bits in the background, but is still sort of London. But then you hit lesser known places or less common places in the US data, and we have Helsinki is looking very strange indeed. And as for Beijing, well, I'm really not sure how many stereotypes we can fit into there. AI will sometimes come up with answers that are inaccurate or just plain wrong, especially when the topic is something a bit more obscure. Here's a famous example. Asked how to stop cheese falling off pizza. AI suggests mixing some glue into the sauce to stop things falling off so easily. The problem is that these hallucinations are presented in exactly the same style as accurate responses, and that can sometimes make it hard to distinguish between truth and fiction. Scientists have been caught out by fabricated sources. Lawyers too are in trouble because they're using citations that are made up by AI. It's important to think and carefully about any results that AI produces. Are you sure you can trust it? One final issue that needs to be considered when we think about using AI is the effects on the environment that even the smallest prompt can have. First up is the electricity needed to run the AI data centers. It's estimated that a medium-sized data center uses as much electricity in a year as 100,000 households. And with the number of data centers increasing fast to keep up with the number of queries, the demand for electricity is growing too. In places like Ireland, AI data centers already use 20% of the country's electricity. According to the IAEA, a ChatGPT query uses 10 times as much electricity as a traditional Google search. The question is your question really worth it? The other major issue is the amount of water needed by AI data centers to keep their servers cool. A medium-sized data center uses 420 million litres of water a year. That's the same as would be used in 1,000 households. One conversation with ChatGPT is about the same as a half-litre bottle of water. 2025, AI centers used 1.1 cubic meters of clean water to cool their servers. But with all this increase in demand, by 2027, just next year, it's going to be 6.6 billion cubic meters of water. That's more than half of all the water used in a country like Britain every year. And more than half the data centers are located in areas where water is scarce already. So where are the people going to get their drinking water from? So AI is really useful, but before you use it, think carefully. Is my query really necessary, or can I do the same thing another way? Is it worth using the fresh water, the electricity that we've just talked about for this? Can I trust the answer? Or is it going to be one very, very plausible hallucination? Is the answer respecting copyright, or is it making use of the work of authors or artists or someone else who's put the creative work in? And finally, think carefully. Am I giving personal information away when I'm providing this information to AI? So that brings us to the end of the AI module of this video-based MOOC. We hope you found it interesting and useful. If you want to find out more about AI, then check out the Empower for Digiline online course. You'll find Unit 2 deals with AI for teachers. Unit 3 looks at how teachers can support their learners to use AI. And there are also 8 other interesting topics that you will find useful, no doubt. Course is available in our 6 project languages, and you can find the link in the bio and also on our project webpage. And before we sign off completely, here are a few more questions that you can have a think about. Check out the resources on our online course, and we wish you happy experimenting. Make the most of AI. It's a great tool when you use it carefully. Bye.